Ladies and gentlemen, dear international business partners, welcome all of you to this webinar. Our topic today is about digital workplace with ELO. Just quickly before I hand over to my colleague, I give you some short important piece of information. As usual, we have muted all of you, but of course you can always ask your questions by entering them in the question area in your GoToWebinar control panel. And my colleague will of course answer your questions at the end of the presentation. So that's now basically all from my part, and I think we can start with the webinar session. And so I hand over to my colleague Edgar Grasel. Welcome, Edgar, and it's your turn.
Well, thank you, and hello from Austria. On May the 4th, the International Star Wars Day, I think, and I will show you today how we managed to use ELO as a digital workplace. The first thing is the definition of the digital workplace. So what's all about this? What's the meaning of the digital workplace? The digital workplace is a collective term for tools that enable collaboration and information sharing from any location and integration with crucial business applications like CRM or ERP. So what does this mean, collaboration from any location? I thought about, well, does that fit? Can we collaborate with each other when we are not in the same location? Well, yes, we can, and I'll show you how. When we go back in time, some 30 years or so, a typical office environment looked like this. You had a typewriter, you had a phone, you had a file cabinet, and you had some folders where you could store your files. The first thing that was replaced was the typewriter with a computer. So now you could write your documents with a computer and you could print it out, but the files are stored in the file cabinet as well. Next thing that changed was we made a network infrastructure. So you could store your files on a server and you could access them, you could share it with your colleagues, you could send them an email or something, and they had access to your information. But those information and those documents were only available when you were in the office. So you could collaborate with each other, but not from any location. This changed some 12 years ago when we went mobile. The smartphone was invented and many employees used the notebooks for accessing those information and documents in the office or outside the office. So we could access them from any location. And so it was not necessary to go to the office to do your work. You could work from home as we did the last 6 or 7 weeks, and you could access, or you can access, data and information from there. Or you can sit on the beach and access your information and documents. So it's not necessary that you're in the office. You can access your information and you can collaborate with each other. But I think holiday this year will be in the mountains. So in 2018, a company asked 1,008 men and women from some companies, different sizes, different locations, what's all about the digital workplace. And one question was which technology they need for streamlined processes. And 43% of them said it's necessary to have a secure digital document filing infrastructure where you can store your files in digital way, which is secure and which you can access from outside the company. 48% said digital signature is a technology which is needed for streamlined processes, and that's clear, because when you're not in the office, but you have to sign documents from where you are, you need a digital signature, because most of the time you don't have some sort of scanner or something. So you should be able to sign your documents the digital way. 28% said it's necessary to track the documents, and only 25% said the mobile applications will be needed when you want to work in the digital workplace. So on the other hand, 75% most of the time use the notebooks and don't work with tablet or smartphone for some reason. The same people were asked about collaboration tools, and 54% said that collaboration tools are useful for keeping in touch with colleagues who are not in the same office. And that's true. We saw the last 6 or 7 weeks when we worked in our home offices that we had to use our document feed, and we had to share some ideas or ask questions with our business solution, ELO Knowledge, so that we could keep in touch with our colleagues. 51% said that collaboration tools enable quick and easy communication with the colleagues. That's true as well, because when we store a file to our repository, we can write a entry in the document feed, and we can easily communicate with each other. So I can link to another user, and I can say, Sandra, can you look over this document, because I've saved it now. And another 51% said that collaboration tools are useful for sharing files with colleagues and getting feedback. So as I said, you can link other users in the document feed, and you get some feedback when you ask them to give it to you. The last question they were asked, which is the most time-consuming work that you have to do, and where do you see the most potential for saving your time? And 44% said that digital filing is the most time-saving, or one of the most time-saving things in the digital workplace, because other studies say that you use 50% of your time for storing files somewhere, and this you can save with digital filing. Another 43% said when we could fill out forms the digital way, so like I don't know, this would be time saving as well. 39% said when I can make a digital vacation request, then this would be time saving as well. But I don't know how many vacation requests that the people fill in. 39%. 48% said when you make your time recording digital, this will be time saving. And another 45% said when you manage your calendar digital, this is time saving as well. So I give you an example. We have our 3 employees, Verona Funk, Gerd Baum, and Sandra Renz. Verona Funk sits in the marketing department. She works with her notebook. She makes many documents with Microsoft Office. She makes many presentations, Word documents, and so on. And she has many ideas. Gerd Baum is the CEO of the company. He works most of the time with his tablet or his smartphone, because when he's traveling, that's the best way he can do it. He doesn't save many files to the repository, but he has to search for them, or he has to find them. And he needs data to analyze it, to visualize it. So when he sits at the customer, he wants to see how this customer performed the last 3 months or so. And Sandra Renz sits in the HR department and makes the orders for the company. So she works most of the time with her ERP system. She loves to work very structured, so she needs files where the documents are stored, that she has an overview over the client or the customer or something. And she writes many descriptions because she's in the HR department. She writes how to fill in a vacation request. She writes descriptions for some other topics related to HR. And I'll show you now the short way how they work. So we have Verona Funk. As I said, she works in the marketing department. She has made my PowerPoint presentation for me. Oh, here it is. And she wants to save it to ELO. She works with the desktop client. That's this one on the right side of her desktop, which enables her to save the files directly to the repository. She doesn't have to save it on her device. She can save it direct to her repository. And when she wants to do this, she clicks on desktop and she says move to ELO, and she selects her folder. Where do we store it? Oh, let's store it here. And she stores it in the repository. She gives it a name, or she names it. And so the PowerPoint presentation for this webinar is saved to the repository over the desktop client. And now she can send an information to Gerd Baum that his PowerPoint presentation is stored here. She mentions, where is Gerd? Here is Gerd. It says, here is your PowerPoint presentation. Please give me some feedback. And because she has mentioned Gerd Baum, he will see it afterwards in his My ELO section when he opens his tablet or smartphone app, or he opens the web client. She also can write some ideas in the knowledge board, like here. She can give some answers. She can write an article or something. That's all she can do with her desktop client. This is saved. So on the other hand, Gerd Baum, who works most of the time with his mobile phone or his tablet, but his tablet doesn't work today, so he uses the web client. The web client is very light, and you can access your repository from everywhere around the world when you have some internet. And the first thing that he sees is that Verona Funk has stored his PowerPoint presentation in the repository. And when he clicks on it, then he jumps to the right location. So he can open it for view, and then when he has opened it, he can give her some feedback. Good work, good work. don't need to change. Don't need to change. And so he gave her feedback, and that's the possibility of collaboration with the document feed. But he also is able to open up some dashboards, because as I said, when he's at the customer, he wants to see or he wants to get a quick overview how the customer performed the last 3 months or so. So he has two dashboards here. One is the dashboard for the orders, where he can see the orders from the last 3 weeks. And our top 5 customer is Möbelmeller KG, because they have ordered around 50, they have taken around 58 orders. And here he can see the overall number of orders. You can create your own dashboard with ELO Analytics, and when you have created a new dashboard, then you can access it here. Or the other hand, he uses a fatal error. No. He uses the dashboard for the incoming invoices, where he can see how many invoices came in the last, I don't know, I think it's 3 weeks as well. And there he can see the top 5 creditors. There he can see the incoming invoices by state. So we have 32 invoices in the state of department verification, and here, down here, he can see which user has how many invoices in his tasks area. So, as I said, the analytics dashboard you can create for yourself, and you can fit it to your needs. So when you need some other data, as I showed, I think 2 weeks before, when you want to see how many files are stored in ELO in the last 3 months or so, or when you want to see how many questions were asked to a topic in knowledge, then you can visualize it with ELO Analytics. And the last employee to show is Sandra Renz. As I said, Sandra Renz works most of the time with her ERP system. The ERP system she uses is, in our case, Microsoft Navision. And I'll show you later how this looks like. She works most of the time with the integration client. So when she makes a new order or something, then the documents which are created in this process are stored to ELO automatic. And so this is her client of choice. This is the ELO Java client. And she has a folder. She has, there are some files. It's not English, it's German in this way, in this case. And here are the orders from our customers. And there she can click on the customer, and down here she has the order numbers. And when she clicks on the order numbers, she has the document, or she can see the documents related to this order. So those files are stored automatically when she creates them in Navision. She doesn't have to do anything to store the files there. So we can make an overview, or we can have an overview over the orders down here, or we can have an overview over our clients. So here are the clients as well. Here are some years, and so on. So she has the structure which fits for her, which she needs. And as I said before, she gets a quick overview over a order, a customer, even an article. She can get an overview how many times was the article ordered by the customers. So she also writes many articles in the knowledge board, as we saw before. This is our knowledge board in the Java client, where you can, as I said, write some articles, ask questions, or share your ideas. And she she works with invoices, incoming invoices as well. And she has in her task section some invoices which she has to work with. And here you can see our business solution invoice, where you get a form where you can fill in your data for this invoice. In this case, she has to fill in who has ordered this. I don't know what this is, some hardware. And she says, oh, I think this was get bomb. So only by filling out this form, she ends the task in her workflow. That's another invoice in another state. So you can see the form for the invoice is depending on in which state in the workflow is this invoice. So whoops. So, we have our three employees. We have Verona Funk, Gerd Baum, and Sandra Renz. And as I showed you, Verona Funk works with her desktop client because it's light, it's integrated in Microsoft Office, and it fits her needs. Gerd Baum works most of the time with his mobile phone or his tablet, and for this he has an app to access the repository. As we can see here, that's the app for iOS. And as you can see on the clock, I made this screenshot today because it didn't work. And Sandra Renz works with the integration client in Microsoft Navision. And here you can see this is the this is Microsoft Navision, and here is the integration part from ELO, so she can access her files direct in Navision. She doesn't need any other client to access them, and the files are stored automatically. And when she gets an email from a customer, she can easily drag and drop it down here in Navision, and then it is stored in the repository. So the digital workplace with ELO enables you to access your documents and information from any location. It doesn't depend on where you sit. This was one good point when we had to work from our home office. It wasn't necessary to go to the office because we could access our data from home as well. We are able to collaborate with each other. We can use the document feed to share some information. We can use the workflow to end our tasks, and we can use ELO knowledge to share our ideas, to ask questions, or to write some articles like descriptions or so. The information which is stored in ELO is in sync with critical business application. So when Sandra Renz makes a new order, then the order confirmation is stored to ELO automatically. She doesn't have to do something. and the files and information stored in ELO are up to date. And Gerd Baum can see, oh, there's a new order when he opens his analytics dashboard. And it's intuitive for users because everybody has the choice to use the right client for his needs, for his or her needs. So when they work with Office, they use the desktop client. When they work with Navision, they use the integration client. When they are traveling, they use the web client or the ELO app for tablet and smartphone. So you have the right client for every user. So which goals did we achieve? We managed to get a better organization because you can store your documents all in one place, all in one repository. The amount of time to store your files there is much less than when you have to click here and there and everywhere. You can save time because thanks to automated processes and smart search tools, files are stored automatic and you can find them with our integrated iSearch. You have secure digital filing, which meets the needs of a government like GDPR or something. You have an audit trail. You can track changes. You can see who did what when, and you can see it in, let's say, 3 years or something. So you can track the changes of your documents. It's integrated because information from different sources is fed into a central information system. As I said, when Sandra Renz makes something in Navision, the information is stored to ELO, and on the other hand, Gerd Baum can use analytics to visualize them. And it's extendable. When you want to start with ELO, you can start small. You can start by creating a digital filing infrastructure just to store your files or emails in a central repository, but you can extend it as well when you want to extend it, for instance, with ELO knowledge. You can do it later. So when you have some questions about the digital workplace with ELO, you can ask our ELO certified business partners, which you can find on our homepage. And that was my part on May the 4th, Star Wars Day. And I want to thank you for your attention. When you have some questions, you can ask me now. No questions at all. That's nice.
So, Edgar, thanks a lot for your presentation. I think we will just wait just one more second if there are some questions come up. So,
Nope.
No questions. So, thanks a lot again. Thank you also, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention. I think that is basically all now. Thanks all of you for taking part. Thanks for attending, and bye-bye.